Conversation responsibilities. Why would learning to have a conversation be a responsibility, you ask? Learning and practicing how to start a conversation is a responsibility of ours because we have the right of free speech. With rights comes responsibilities. With our right to speak, it is our responsibility to learn how to have a conversation. Conversation responsibility lesson flow. In today's lesson, we will go over conversation tips where I will give you a few pointers for having a conversation. I will talk about eye contact, voice tone and volume, waiting to speak and listen, and what to do if you don't know how to respond. I will also go over how to start a conversation, including an example of me starting a conversation, how to hold a conversation where I will provide tips on keeping conversation topics relatable, how to end a conversation where I will provide tips on how to end conversations, and also you will be able to hear me start, hold, and end a conversation towards the end of this video, as well as provide you a demonstration of how to use the visual greetings reference provided in Teams so you can practice at home. Conversation tip number 1, eye contact. When you are having a conversation with someone, eye contact is very important. Eye contact is when you look someone in the eyes. It is important to have eye contact during conversation because it lets the person you are talking to know you are talking to them, and when they are speaking to you, it lets them know that you are listening. Eye contact, looking someone in the eyes while having a conversation. Conversation tip number 2, voice tone and volume level. When having conversations with others, the tone and volume level of your voice is also important. Voice tones are qualities in our voices that express our thoughts and feelings. Voice tones are essentially emotions spoken. Here is an example. If I am happy when I am talking to someone, I will sound happy. If I am sad, I will sound sad. If I am upset, I will sound upset. Listen to my voice and see if you can decide how I am feeling. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Just like voice tones are important, volume levels are important too. Voice volume levels are how loud or softly we speak. When having conversations with others, we may sound a little louder when expressing different feelings, but we should never be yelling while having conversations out of respect for the listener. Listen to the different volume levels in my voice when I am expressing happy and upset feelings. My volume levels change, but I am never yelling. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Conversation tip number 3, waiting. When having conversations with others, another important factor is waiting your turn to speak. It's important to wait for your turn to speak as well as wait for the other speakers to finish their statements or questions. For example, if someone was asking me a question and I interrupted them, this would be impolite. The more respectful thing to do is wait until the speaker is finished asking the question and then speak. If you ask me how I'm doing, you should wait for my response before answering the question yourself. Listen to this conversation that I am having with my daughter to hear interruption and correct waiting. Hello, everyone. Here I'm going to give you an example of interruption during a conversation as well as correct waiting. I have my daughter here with me to help me out, and she's just faced away from the camera just because it's going to be posted online. So I'm going to use our first tip and make eye contact with her and try to have a conversation, and she's going to interrupt me. Hi, how are you today?
The weather's nice today.
She interrupted me, and that's not very polite. We need to wait until the first person is done talking so that we can know how to respond. Take a look at the correct waiting. Hi, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Conversation tip number 4. What if you don't know how to respond? While having conversations with others, you may not always know how to respond, and that's okay. If you're ever in a conversation and don't know how to respond, just let the other person know. Listen to me asking my daughter a question with a word she is unfamiliar with and see how she responds, as well as how I reword my question to make it a little easier for her to understand. Sometimes, if we are having a conversation with someone that doesn't know us too well, this may happen. Don't get discouraged, just let them know you don't understand. Okay, so I have my daughter here again, and this time we're going to have a short conversation where I'm going to say a phrase that she is unfamiliar with, or you may be unfamiliar with. This word was also used in the explanation for the slide before, so this might help you out understanding what that word means. Once I say that short phrase to her, she's going to respond, I don't understand, and then I am going to reword my statement and see if that helps her out a little bit. Okay, don't be discouraged, you can do it.
I don't understand.
Okay, don't give up. You can do it. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going to go over how to start a conversation. Starting a conversation may be the most difficult step in having a conversation. But with these tips, hopefully you will be better equipped to start a conversation. To start a conversation, you will need a few tools. You will need to know how to initiate the conversation using the right language to do so. How to initiate depends on who you are talking to. For example, when you are starting a conversation with a friend, you may address them by saying, "Hey." However, when addressing your teacher, it may be a good idea to not address them by saying, "Hey." You may consider saying, "Excuse me," or "Hello, Miss Rebecca," and wait for them to respond. You will need to know when to initiate the conversation. This is our second tool, which may be a little tricky. Make sure that when you want to start a conversation with someone, they are not busy having another conversation with someone else, or they do not seem preoccupied doing something else. The third tool you'll need is you will need a topic to start a conversation. Try to think about what you would like to talk about before starting a conversation. Listen to me start a conversation. Okay, so I'm back again with my daughter, and we have a visitor here. His name is Toto. It's our little puppy. Right in this video clip, we are going to start a conversation. So I'm going to make sure that I have eye contact and she looks like she's ready to have a conversation. She's just sitting there with our puppy. So we're going to go ahead and start our conversation. Hi.
Hi.
Holding a conversation. To hold a conversation with others, you will need to use some of the social rules we have learned about in the classroom. If you don't remember these, that's okay. I'll go over a few good ones with you now that will help you hold a conversation. Some good social rules you will need is 1. Taking turns or waiting, as I went over in the tips. It is important and respectful to wait until the other person you are conversating with is finished speaking before you start. 2. Listening and responding. It is important to listen to what the other person in the conversation is saying before you speak so you know how to respond. For example, if I begin talking before the other person is finished talking, I may confuse my conversation partner. The third social rule you will need is to stay on topic. This means that when I'm having a conversation with someone, I want to try my best to talk about the same things they are talking about. Listen to me continue my conversation. Okay, so we're back again, and in this clip, we're going to show you how to hold a conversation. We're going to start off from the beginning and start the conversation by saying hello. After I say hello to her, I'm going to wait for her to say hello back, and then I'm going to hold a conversation by asking her how she's doing. I'm going to wait after every phrase I say, and she's going to wait after every phrase she says. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Ending a conversation. Ending a conversation may be difficult as well, but with practice we can improve. To end a conversation, you need to be able to tell if a conversation is coming to an end and use the correct vocabulary to do so. Some good ways to tell if a conversation is coming to an end is listening to your partner's tone of voice and verbal cues. This could include when your speaker begins talking less or sounding less interested in the conversation, or using verbal cues such as okay then, or anyways. Good vocabulary for ending a conversation may include saying things like goodbye, thank you, and see you later. Listen to me end my conversation. Okay, so in this slide, we're going to show you how we end our conversation. We're going to start off at the top by starting our conversation and saying hello, making sure to wait after every response. Then we're going to hold our conversation and end our conversation. Here we go. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Example conversation. Please listen to me have a full conversation. Okay, in this slide we're going to show you how to hold a conversation. It's not going to be like the conversation we've been having. We're just going to have a regular conversation with each other where we have a beginning and we use our greetings. We have a middle with a topic, and then we end our conversation. So here we go. Hello.
Hi.
How has virtual schooling been?
Well, at first it was a little hard, but now as I'm getting used to it, it's easier.
Well, that's good to hear.
Okay then. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so here you're going to see the visual of the greeting that we've been doing in the virtual classroom, as well as the greetings we did in the classroom before spring break. We're just gonna go through this. I'm gonna start the conversation by saying hello, and then I'll wait for you to say hello on your end, and then we'll go and say, I will ask you how you're doing. Then I'll wait for your response, and then I will wait just to pretend you're asking me, and then I will respond, and then I will say goodbye and wait for you to say goodbye. Okay, let's get started. Hello. How are you today? I'm good, thanks for asking. Goodbye. Okay, here are some reminders of your assignments for the day. Please don't forget to practice communicating with others around you at home using the visual greeting located in Teams, and take the quiz in Teams that follows this lesson. There is also a chore list assignment, and if you join us today at 10:30, we'll have a live lesson about how to access the list in Teams. Please make sure to also view the recorded lesson about tying your shoes. Use the visual to help you learn to tie your shoes. Practice a little bit at home if you can, and take the quiz that goes along with it. The final thing that's on the assignment list for today is to complete the Rate Your Responsibility worksheet and turn it into Teams. Okay, and that completes our lesson on communication responsibility for today. Now, I know this virtual schooling thing may still seem a lot different to everybody. Just know that we miss you all, and we hope you enjoy our short recorded lessons and hope you join us for our live lessons as well. Well, like I said, thank you for joining me for today, and until next time, communicate.